My friends, what's going on, guys? My name is Kai. Welcome to the Sober Living channel. If you're new here, thank you so much for stopping by. Please consider liking, sharing, and subscribing. It really helps my small channel grow. So, my friends, I hope you had an awesome Christmas. I hope everybody was safe. I hope that you had some good food and you hung out with your family and just had some good times. I had a pretty good Christmas myself. I just hung out at home, really, with my roommate. Made a turkey, but our turkey was terrible. It was terrible. It was like the Christmas Vacation Griswold turkey. It was just bad. Either way, guys, I have something that I'd like to talk to you about today that I don't think I've talked about in big detail yet. And I don't know why, but that is, I'd like to talk about my eating disorder. So, as a little background, if this is your first video of mine, I'm a recovering alcoholic. I was bulimic for years before I finally got help for it, but then when I went to rehab for my alcohol addiction, I joined up a eating disorder program that was offered by the hospital. So I got help on both avenues, right? So let me begin. Let me begin where it all started. I used to be a really thin, muscular person. I used to be like 145 pounds, but I was thin and I had really good muscle definition. Like, I was pretty built. That was a long time ago. That was maybe 10 years ago. And as the years went on, my arms and my legs stayed the same, but with my drinking, I started getting a big gut, you know, and eventually about four years ago, I was watching wrestling. I was watching wrestling with my mom and my sister, and this one wrestler came out onto the stage, and his name was Finn Balor. And the guy's an amazing wrestler, and he's really cut. He's in really good shape, and we're both very similar in the sense that we're both smaller people. Like, I'm only 5'10", so I'm not a huge person. We both had similar structures, and my mom said, you know what, Kai, with some work, you could look like him. And for some reason, that stuck in my mind, you know? I was like, oh my gosh, like, I can look like this guy? No way. Like, okay, sign me up, you know? So I tried working out, and I started going to the gym, and I started, you know, working out, and it just wasn't for me. It just wasn't for me. Some people enjoy working out. I don't enjoy working out at all. I work out enough at work every day. The last thing I need to do is pay to go to a place to work more. It's too much for me. But that being said, I was going to the gym, I was doing a lot of things, but I wasn't seeing any results. And then I said to myself, you know what? You've got the arms, you've got the legs. The only thing you're trying to really cut down is your stomach. So why don't you try purging? You know, and in my mind, I was like, it was crazy because I was an alcoholic back then. So I would think up a whole bunch of crazy ideas, and I thought that they were good ideas at the moment, right? And so I started. So I started purging, and I'll never forget the very first time I purged. I had a spoon, and I had no idea what to do, and I was trying to hit the back of my throat with the spoon to make myself throw up, and it just wouldn't work, and I kept doing it until I ended up scratching my whole throat. It was just awful. But eventually I got the hang of it, and I got so good at throwing up that I didn't even need to stick my finger down my throat or anything. All I needed to do was keel over the toilet, cough really hard a couple times, and it would come out, you know? So I did that. And I did that for years. I did that for years without telling anybody. And everybody in my house heard me throwing up all the time, but they thought it was because I drank too much, because I was an alcoholic. So they just thought that every single time I threw up, it was because I drank too much. And don't get me wrong, I did throw up because I drank too much, but a lot of the time when I was throwing up, was because of my eating disorder. It got so bad, actually, and a lot of people, like, I never knew this, but it actually rots your teeth. It actually makes your teeth rot. So through my bulimia, I've destroyed like 2 of my big teeth back here, my wisdom teeth. I've destroyed like basically the back teeth, all from just throwing up, you know. Finally, when I got to the hospital, when I got to rehab, they said like, hold on one sec. When I got to rehab, they do like an intake interview with you. So they can get an idea and an understanding on how to accommodate you medically, you know. So when I was there, they said, hey, listen, here are the programs that we have. You're here for addiction. We also have a mental health wing. We also have an eating disorder wing. And when they said that they had an eating disorder program, a light went off in my brain, because I was like, you know what, Kai? You're here to get better. You're here to get healthy. So why not finally admit to somebody that you have a problem and get healthy? You're in the hospital. It's the best place to get healthy. So I sat on it for a day or two. I didn't tell anybody still. I didn't tell anybody. And then during rehab, we had something called group therapy, where we would all sit around and we would just talk. And basically the person would have the floor for 5 or 10 minutes, and they could talk about whatever they wanted, things that were bothering them, anything like that. And after a couple of these group sessions, I finally decided that, yeah, you know what, I'm going to speak up, because there were so many people in my group speaking up and talking about things that I would be too scared to talk about at that moment. But they were talking about it, and everybody was okay with it. So when I went to group on the 3rd day, the nurse said, you know, hey Kai, do you have anything special that you'd like to announce or anything like that? And sometimes the nurse would ask that in case there's like a birthday or somebody wants to give somebody recognition or something like that. But I said, yeah, you know what, there is something that I would like to get off my chest. And she said, okay, well, you have the floor. So I got up and I stood up in front of the group. There was about, I'd say 10 people there, 10 or 12 people. And I said, hey guys, I'm bulimic. And I've been bulimic for like 4 years, and it's completely destroyed my teeth. It's made my mental health terrible. I need help with it. That was it. And right when I sat down, everybody was so caring. Everybody was so compassionate. And right from there, when the class ended, my therapist that was in charge of the class, she said, hey Kai, do you want me to talk to the nutritionist or the other doctors and get you in on the eating disorder program? So I was like, yeah, sure, absolutely. Like, as I said, I'm here to get healthy, so let's get healthy, you know? I have nothing to hide anymore. I just want to get healthy. I don't have any secrets anymore. Just help me, you know? So she did, and I talked to a nutritionist, and as I've shown before, we had a schedule. So what the nutritionist would do, hold on, I'll show you on my wall here. Basically, oh, can I zoom in? Yeah, so you can see up there. So we would have meal trays delivered at 7:15, 11:55, and 4:55. And basically, hold on, sorry guys. There we go. Yeah, and basically the nutritionist lady, the meal trays, they would come up, and I would sit and I would eat with somebody, and after I was finished, I would talk to them, and I would talk to them for maybe half an hour to 45 minutes, and I would just talk about how I'm feeling. I would just talk about things that are bothering me. I would just talk to distract myself. And eventually, after I think the 4th week, I was allowed to go down to the cafeteria and I was allowed to eat on my own, and I was allowed to basically take back control of my eating, where I didn't have to be watched by a nurse to make sure that I wasn't going to throw up right after, you know. So it got better, and they put me on a medication. When I left the hospital, they put me on a medication called metoclopramide, something like that. And basically what it was a medicine that helps you digest food. It helps speed up the digestion process, so you don't sit there with that feeling of like, oh, have you ever eaten too much McDonald's? You know that feeling that you get when you're just like, oh, what have I done to myself? You know, that feeling, the metoclopramide helps pass that through, you know. So it helped me a lot. After I left rehab, I only had 5 relapses, and now I know 5 lapses, not relapses. I've only purged 5 or 6 times since I've left rehab, which sounds like a lot, but keep in mind I was doing it 2 to 3 times every day, so it's in comparison, you know. But I just wanted to let you guys know that now I'm doing amazing with it. I'm doing great. I hit my target weight. When I look in the mirror, I'm actually proud of what I see, which is crazy for me because I've really never been like that. I've never remembered being like that, at least, being proud of myself, you know. So yeah, that's the story of my bulimia. I know it's not much, but if you have any questions or if there's anything more that you would like me to clarify, please let me know and I'll make a video about it. I don't want to leave anybody confused. But other than that, I just want to take a moment to say that if you're a guy, or if you're a girl, but I'm talking to the guys for a moment, if you're a guy and you have an eating disorder, don't feel like it's something that only women have, because it's not. Don't feel like you can't get help because you're going to be judged as like a sissy or as like a chick, you know? That's not the case. When I got help, I was the only man in the group, but I inspired other people to speak up about it, you know? There was some people that were at the hospital that had problems similar to me, but they didn't want to admit it. They didn't want to talk about it, you know? So I hope that I can inspire a young person, a young guy, to talk about it. You know, if you are overeating, if you're undereating, if you're purging, if you're binging, whatever you're doing, it's going to hurt you. And it can be just as bad as drug abuse. It can be just as bad. When you see a 600-pound woman sitting in McDonald's with 2 Big Macs in her hand and she's out of breath between each bite, that's not good. You know what I mean? It's gonna harm you. So guys, girls, if you're overeating, if you're undereating, talk to somebody about it, because I'm telling you, you can feel a lot better. You can get a lot of your confidence back. You can feel much more confident in yourself. You can be proud of what you look at in the mirror. You don't need to worry about a lot of the things. I used to have a big gut, and that was one of the biggest reasons why I started being bulimic, because I had the arms, and I had the legs when it came to like muscle definition, but I had a big gut. I just had this gut thing going on, and I didn't like it, so I became bulimic, you know? Don't be like me. Don't. Don't. Stop it. If there's anything I can do to help you, if you have any questions, anything, please let me know. I am here to help. It's what makes me happy, you know? So, guys, I hope that clarifies anything for you. If you have any questions, let me know. And other than that, I have been working like crazy lately. Like, the last 14 days, I've worked 13 of them. I've been working like crazy hours, so I'm sorry if I haven't been uploading as much. But I think we're coming up on the 220th video on the channel, so I'm really looking forward to that. Other than that, guys, wherever you are in the whole wide world, please be safe, please be sober, and you know what? If you're not going to be sober, that's totally fine. Just be with a good friend, have a safe ride home. Remember, your parents love you and every single one of your friends wants you to wake up tomorrow. Alright guys, bye.